This is the part 3 of the 100 Q&A questions for the contract managers. We are starting with the 21st question. How do you ensure subcontract agreements protect the main contract flow terms? So, if I'm the contract manager, I will first have a full understanding of my main contract. So, what are the risks, obligations, timelines are there? And when drafting the subcontractors, I will keep in mind what are the deadlines, and I will try to put a deadline a little ahead than the deadline of the main contract, keeping a contingency of what should be the delivery errors. And when coming to the penalties and LDs, we'll try to transfer the equally the fair amount of the LDs for that scope of work. And any notices, it should be a back-to-back notices. Payment class, we'll try to keep it fair. If it is a 30 days credit period and we have to negotiate with 45 days or 40 days, because if it is 30 days from the employer, let's be fair, you will never get in 30 days. So that's going to be delay. And if you want to maintain a smooth relationship with your subcontractors, have a contingency period so that at least you can pay them when you accept it between both the parties. So try to remove the gray areas and keep it black and white. So my goal will be a seamless flow down of responsibilities. How do you assess the contractor's performance against the contract? First, compare the progress with the approved program. So many contract professionals think that following the baseline or tracking the schedule is a project control job. No, it is not. You have to have a flavor in all the departments, and you should have a first-hand information what is happening everywhere, and only then you can have a first-hand information, because people don't knock your doors unless it gets serious. So when a project manager enters your door, at that point of time, it means that the claim is already in favor of the employer. So definitely be in communication with them, get the information from them before they bring it to your doors. So keep a very close track of their performance in terms of time, and ensure that we are paying them in a proper way. Have a discussion with finance, because you just can't, if a contractor is not asking for a payment, you just can't keep not giving. I have seen many EPC contractors do that. Don't do that. If somebody is performing good, keep them happy. And if somebody is performing bad or not performing well, get in connection with them and try to find what is their actual issue and try to be their partner and solve them. The next question, 23, how do you prepare for contract negotiations with a new client? So if it's an old client, we know their style, how they negotiate and what they need and what will they expect from them. And some clauses they will write in the contract, but they never enforce. We know them well. But if it's a new client, then we have to take lessons learned from the old clients and what are the pitfalls we faced in the contract. That has to be compensated. And at least once the negotiations start, in 10 minutes you will identify the style of the negotiation, whether they are aggressive pushers or assertive seekers. So try to be very fair. If they are very aggressive, try to repel them with the facts, not emotionally. So tell them that if you are transferring this risk and these are the consequences and these will increase the prices and we have to take a contingency cover on that. So this will affect you indirectly. So try to convince them and take always advice from the legal, finance and technical teams. So don't enter a meeting just with assumptions. And that will be the main flaw in negotiation. Go in with a clear data, facts, and have a BATNA, and go with a structured approach. Question number 24. What actions do you take when a payment is unfairly reduced? So first of all, we have to see that the immediate clarification has to be raised. So I compare the deductions with the contract classes, whether they are legal, whether they are contractual. You have to have an idea about that. Then, if you find it non-contractual, submit a rebuttal against the measurements, against the payments or deductions. Then, parallelly escalate to your senior management regarding what is happening, and because they also have to keep them informed. So, your aim is to recover of the rightful payment without harming the relationship. So that's more important. So very diplomatic relationship has to be maintained with the client and tell them this is not fair or this is not as per the contract and this will affect our cash flow and it will indirectly affect you. So that has to be explained. Question number 25. How do you manage liquidated damages risks? So liquidated damages risks are have high risk of occurrence. So you have to track the critical path milestones closely along with the project controller planning team. Highlight the delays caused by external factors to preserve your entitlements. See, very clear in sending the delay notices and don't take much time in submitting your EOT and delay analysis. And submit a very fair recovery program and always show you the mitigations from your side. What are the mitigations you are taking from your side and how you are trying to control the delay. And beyond that, if the delay is moving and it is not under your direct control, then that's your duty to convey that in a proper way to the client. So always try to avoid the LD exposures if it is under your control. Question number 26. How do you ensure accurate documentations for claims? This is always going to be a bit difficult job because you have to train each and every department to maintain the daily logs, RFIs, instructions, progress photos. So these all are legal evidences which will help you in your later dispute resolutions like arbitrations or litigations. You have to regularly audit this project records. I have worked in certain projects where you see the monthly progress report, the photos will be the same. Usually I start reviewing from the reverse, from the photograph. Usually photographs will be the last pages. Whereas at least change the photographs. We are not changing the photographs. So that's more important. And the departments like quality, design and engineering, they have a different kind of brain. They are not like you. First accept that. Like husband and wife, you can't expect a wife to be like the husband and you can't expect the husband to be like the wife. They are different. But you are going to live together in the project. A project manager thinks in a different way. Help them with a contractual right when they are in a problem. And that will give them a confidence, okay, we have to know about the contract. In my experience, the most difficult part is training the design engineers. They are like scientists. They're never worried about the commercial obligations and the contractual risks. They only concentrate on designing and they have to give a world-class design. So I used to convince them when they get unwanted queries and comments from their client, counterpart of the client, the design engineers of the client. So I say that these are not contractual. You don't have to accept that. Okay? So you give a basic information to me, we will send a notice. And then we say that this is delaying the drawing approvals and these drawing approvals are necessary for the suppliers or the vendors to start their package drawings. And they are long lead items, which is going to take 12 months or 15 months for the delivery. And this is on the critical path. So, okay, you are getting a revision A, B, C. It's going to 7, 8 revisions. That's not fair. We are not doing it. I always used to say this. We are not building a Taj Mahal, which is going to stand for 600 years. We are building a power plant. In 25 years, it will have a new technology improvement. And you are going to change the entire design. So build for that and build it resilient for that. And even the contract asks for the 25 years design requirement. But you are asking for something like immortal. There's nothing in the world going to be immortal. So we call them. Why there are so many contradictions in your comments? In the first revision, you have said you want this. In the third revision, you said you don't want this. If we are going to go in this way, we are not going to end up anywhere. Either stop this or give us a fair compensation for the time and the cost we have spent on it. So when we started these discussions, the design engineers start slowly gelling with you. It's a very rare link, like between the least spoken people in a family of a father-in-law, a mother-in-law, a husband, wife, is between the father-in-law and the son-in-law. They are the least spoken relationship in the family. Similarly, in projects, the design engineer and the contracts engineer are the least spoken relationship. So don't do that. Have a close relationship, because design is the basic fundamental activity in a project. Any issues in design will shake the entire project. So give confidence to them, back up them when they are in a problem. See, the contracts manager is the only guy who can back up anybody when in trouble. So do that. When you start doing that, you get friendship, and convert that friendship for the one purpose, that is success of the project. And that will help you maintain all the documentations, because everybody is aware of the obligations and the consequences. So they keep tracking everything. So how do you deal with scope gaps between drawings and BOQs? This is a very, 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 very common issue we face always. So I cross-check the scope items against the specifications, drawings and the BOQs. So we have to see the order of precedence. So which document has to be taken in the priority? There is already a list in the contract. So I will try to make use of that. I will understand which two clauses have the contradictions and which has the presiding or which is the priority. So we have to maintain a register of scope gaps. And if you identify that as a variation, it has to move to the variational log. So I usually play a good role in supporting the engineering team to clarify them whether this is an omission or this is ambiguous, or we have to raise a clarification, or we have to straight away take it as a variation. In some cases, we can straight away take that as a variation. In some cases, we can ask a query that it's going to be a variation. You want us to continue or not, or clarify us whether which quantity is right, whether the BOQ or the drawing quantities. Question number 28. How do you manage cross-border international contracts? See, cross-border international contracts, beyond law, beyond jurisdiction classes, the cultural differences will be very tough. When you're dealing with a different country which has a different culture, the way we have to speak with them, the way we have to invite them for a meeting, the way we have to convey the message, everything plays a role. Some nationals are very soft, and if we just raise the voice, they get offended. And some nationals, they always speak in the high pitch. And even they are in a smooth mood, they'll be speaking in the high note. We sometimes, I'm an Indian, so I have a cultural shock when dealing with such countries. And some countries are very polite. And you can increase the same voice with a fellow Indian. He will not get offended, because he knows that you are trying to convey something more importantly. But some countries, they get offended very easily. And the meeting invitation is very more. Some countries are culturally maintaining a good timeline that they'll be very sharp to the meeting. And the problem is, when you arrange a meeting between 3 or 4 countries, they have a different time zone. One will be from Europe, one will be from US, one will be from India, and one will be from the South Asian nations. That's going to be very difficult. So bringing them on a meeting, one of them will have a breakfast at the same time, the other will have a dinner at the same time. So bringing them all together on a single table to discuss an issue will be a difficult task. So I tell that when you deal with cross-border or international contracts, have an open mind.